My question is, how do you educate those that are against getting vaccinated because they think there's not enough research and it can have some serious side effects?
So that's a fantastic question. Thanks for asking that. You know, one of the things I wish we would do better in healthcare, and I certainly hope we learn from what is happening right now, is how to communicate what we know. We are very bad storytellers in science. We know how to talk amongst ourselves. We know how to talk amongst the 5 other people who understand the research, but trying to translate that information in a way that someone who isn't interested in understanding the nitty-gritty of science can actually digest the information and use it powerfully, we are not as good at that. So the story of this vaccine has not been told in a way that has created confidence in the science that's behind it. This vaccine didn't just show up in a year's time, and yet we've been made to understand that this has been rapidly put together in record time. No vaccine has ever been made this fast, and we are all guinea pigs now for this brand new technology. And that's not accurate. That's an unfortunate telling of the story of this vaccine. This science behind these vaccines, the RNA vaccines, has been being developed for decades. The science behind this actually is based in HIV research and HIV vaccination research, which has been going on for decades. So the knowledge, the know-how, and the safety of using this type of science of generating a vaccine is extremely strong and deep in the scientific, research benches. And so in a sense, we were poised. Our scientists were poised to be able to respond as quickly as we did because the science existed so that we could respond actively, faster than we've ever done before, to deploy such an effective vaccine. And that distinction of, we've actually had this science for years, we've never had the test to deploy it in like we had right now when we were ready, is missing in the news and the storytelling of the vaccine. So the safety of this vaccine, the science behind it, is much more robust than I think we've been allowed to hear, in a sense, because we're just focusing on, my gosh, they developed this in less than a year. How can we know its safety? And that's unfortunate. As opposed to the story of, we were ready for this. Not that we'd want to be ready for a pandemic, but we were ready for this. We are scientifically ready to be able to do this. And so I would hope that we could help people consider what are their concerns. I respect people being concerned about something new and different. And how many new and different things do we put into our environments and in our bodies without giving it a second thought? A new soda pop comes along, a new wine, new alcoholic beverage comes along, and we're like, boom. We don't, what? There's new hard kombucha, boom. Like, I don't know what that's going to do to me, the yeast, whatever, like, bring it on, right? So why we have dramatized this as like, oh my God, we don't know. And yet there's people, right? We're smoking and we know.
Right.
We know what smoking does. We still do it, right? We actually know what this vaccine can do. We also know what the virus can do.
Right.
And there's no comparison, right? You would have not had all of us, our frontline healthcare workers, be first in line to get this vaccine because we see what the virus can do. And there are people who literally can't get the vaccine, cannot, not unwilling, cannot, right? Children under the age of 12 cannot get this yet. And there are people, as I said, who have diseases, receiving things like Rituxan, who cannot. So they are extremely high risk. We owe it to the people in our community to keep them safe.